Yeah, let's start our meeting today. So agenda is there. Everybody can open up. First item is from me, the planning board. So I proposed to set up a new board for the planning and then use the current board for work because of the label, how the labels are handled in one board. So Camille said it's good to go, and I think I'm going to do it. Everybody okay with that? The issue is when you have the P1, P2, Ps and S severities in on the same board, when you move the issues across the columns, the priority and the severity labels will be removed. Then we lose information. That's the important information. So the workaround is just to have another board to list the P priorities and the severities. Then use this current board to do the work tracking or the Kanban work.
Can we use the bug scrub board for the priority and severity? The one that, should I link it here, the one that's already set up?
Yeah, but that's a bug scrub, right? It's we want to also see the engineering items.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. You're right.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do that. Looks like everybody is okay with that little change. I will also ping in the channel so everybody is aware who is not attending this meeting.
One thing I want to call out, I think it may be a bug. So if it's not working for us, let's push for the plan team to fix it. I think there's a bug already found on, like, if you move things and labels get removed. I'll try to find it, but let's put more pressure for our people to fix it because we're building GitLab for our own use. If it's not working, then we should have some pressure there.
Good point. I was thinking it's a bug, but I don't know if it's a feature. Yeah, but supposed to be a bug, I think, because the workflow labels, they should be in that should behave in that model. When you move across columns, the old one gets removed and the new one gets added. Yeah, cool. Mac, if you know a bug number, can you just post here, or maybe just register a new bug?
Yes, I'm digging through my inbox right now. I definitely saw it when we charged it because there have been a few people raising it, and the root issue is like probably almost a year old. So we should apply pressure for it to get prioritized.
Yeah, you are right. I noticed this on Slack channel. It was mentioned somewhere, so I think you are right that it's tracked somewhere, so I can check for issue number 2.
Cool, thank you. This is indeed annoying. Okay, next item is still from me, the Geekbot stand-up. Everybody is okay to use a Geekbot for our stand-up? That seems a standard way to do it in GitLab. Okay, silence means I think everybody is fine. Continue to use that. And Camille suggested different questions. Definitely, I can change the questions there. So I agree. I will make the change. The only question I had is the rotating questions. Yeah, Camille, I saw your proposal to use the APIs to rotate the questions. Maybe that's a little bit more fun here.
It's just proposal. I think that, like, when we have new people joining, maybe they will have some ideas how we can improve that. So maybe like we could just keep it as is and like plan the iteration on the Geekbot question, like when, like 1 week or 2 weeks when the new people join. Maybe this is the right time.
Okay.
To wait a little longer.
Okay, let's so we'll just continue current way. I will change the questions anyway, as you suggested, and continue for a couple of weeks until new people comes on board. Is that what you suggested?
Do whatever you prefer. Really, like I think it's fine to keep it as is. I also think that like having like 2 questions is probably like the something that it's the easiest to answer, because when I look at our stand-ups so far, like we mostly answered like 2 questions really, and those like mostly 2 first questions. Yeah. Probably we did answer more than 2. So maybe like keeping two that like we all answer these two questions and we kind of rotate them. It's like the best way.
Okay. But my other little concern here is that if we don't ask for impediments, then are we going to bring those impediments just on the fly in the channel? I just want to make sure that we know what impediments we have, and we are working actively to address those impediments. It's okay. We just raise, real time when the impediments come up. We just raise in the channel and ping this small group people, so everybody is aware we have some impediments. Then we work actively to address that.
Maybe we can thread off of any response that has an impediment given.
It actually, like the first time when I saw this word, I had to check in the translate exactly what it does mean from my side.
Okay.
So maybe like making it more straightforward, like just maybe we could ask about the blockers explicitly.
So Jan said.
Yeah, just for inspiration, in Plan Team, we use a similar set of questions. If you are interested how it works, feel free to check G_plan_standup channel, and you can see history of our logs. It's quite similar to what we use in Memory Team, but if you wonder how to include the impediments question, inspiration is to make it part of your today plan. Yeah, so if someone is blocked, he can mention it in the upcoming plan day.
Yeah, good suggestion. I will do that. So just roll that into the second question, into the what we'll do today. Good, I'll do that. Cool. I think we have a consensus here. And the next item is really just a reminder. So let's remember that June 1st to 7th, we want to do the planning, just to groom the backlog and the plan for next release. So please remember that activity, and it's just a reminder. Of course, if you have bandwidth to groom the backlog anytime, that's very welcome, because Agile, we want to groom as long as we see adjustments are necessary. So let's do just a reminder. Yeah, next, your item.
Yeah, I created a proposal optimization issue, which is linked from the document, which is related to, well, the point of the issue is a proposal of using eTag caching for a merge request widget. I came across this when debugging the customer issue or performance issues, and I think that this might be a nice improvement also on GitLab.com and for other customers too. And it's something I would like to look at. The question is if there is overall consensus that this can be scheduled soon, or if you think that there are some other more important tasks. For example, we should finish Puma setup first, and perhaps then look at this, or if you think that this has lower priority and it should be scheduled later. So I wanted to bring this up so it's not forgotten, because it's something I would like to look at soon, if possible.
I would defer this to you and Camille, because I don't know the impact of this compared to, so I'm not quite sure about, compared to other Puma and Sidekiq issues, which one is a higher priority at this time. So I would defer to you and Camille.
Yeah, so just to be clear, I think this has a lower priority than, for example, Puma, but the question is how big priority Camille and others think it has in compared to other optimizations, for example.
I think that like this fairly, it's rather simple optimization with the big impact. So maybe I mean, it's like we would still have to like check that, but like Jan, your proposal I think makes sense to do it first. I kind of like expect that like most of the work we finish for Puma this release, and we will basically testing and not really making a lot of changes next release. So doing that, it seems to me right now to make a lot of sense.
Awesome, cool. So in that case, could we schedule this for 12.1, and we will see then. I suspect it might be a really tricky task, so I cannot promise that there will be. The problem is that there are many loose ends which we have to take care of when invalidating eTakesh. But I think that the impact will be too big, so it's very attractive to at least try to fix this.
So actually, maybe then I would also, because if we start doing that, I would also try to figure out what is the better way to be more clever about invalidating eTakesh, because in the past we had a number of issues that we were not invalidating the cache and it resulted in the stale data. And like, as you are saying, like we're gonna have to invalidate the cache in a number of places. So I just wonder like how we could make it more robust to implement, to not think that often about how to do that. Okay, I mean like let's like get like these are the issues that we're gonna have as John is proposing in like the planning next week. So we could really see exactly how it stacks against others. But I think it makes a lot of sense for me to tackle this one.
Okay, cool. So in that case, we will iterate on this during the planning phase.
Yeah. So so probably just to label it as 12.1, or I mean milestone added to 12.1. And during the planning, we probably need to articulate what tasks we need to do here and add the issues as a sub tasks for linked to this issue. So we can chop it to small pieces. Like you said, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Cool. Yeah. Mac?
Thanks for that. So this was a request from Sid. I think this team should be aware. We have started defining on-prem use case. I shied away from calling it on-prem quality because I don't think quality engineering should be responsible for quality, as everybody know. But we are defining on-prem use case expertise for quality engineering counterparts that have knowledge or have worked on customer performance issues. And the two-person on our team now are Mark Lapierre and Sanad. Sanad, we should be on loan 50% in this quarter to help out anything with memory. And the two hires for enablement will have this specialty, or we will aim them to build this specialty. So just want to make that aware. It's in the team YAML and also in the handbook as well.
Thank you. Is there any action items we need to take to
No, just an FYI. We try to
Yeah.
document it and make everything clear. The failure mode is obviously everybody's, well, the past quarter, a lot of focus has been on GitLab.com. We need to start pulling it back and make sure our self-managed customers are happy as well. And this is kind of like a mechanism to highlight who has more knowledge in this area that we can work with or pull them in. So that's the context.
Thank you. And next one is just a summary of the ongoing issues we planned for 12.0 at this point. So Camille is typing that. Thank you, Camille, for summarizing the issues planned for 12.0. Any, is that too much? I mean, just we just have two people, literally, right? Two developers. Is that too much for 12.0?
So actually, there is not really like engineering on that part. It seems like Jan is doing crazy job on shipping a lot of these issues. So it's more really like getting these things merged and starting validating that as soon as possible, because most of these items are like we have them done, except Sidekick Killer because we didn't start working on that yet. And then kind of like figuring out the defaults, validating that on the pre-environment, ensuring that we have all the metrics, and like it's kind of really a lot of housekeeping right now to be done to finish Puma. So there is a lot of items because there is like this knowledge is kind of spread on a lot of issues, but we are really like following up on the Puma as a whole. So is that too much? I'm not sure about the Sidekick Killer. I would say that like we just focus on getting Puma shipped for the 12.0. This is our primary, and like everything else, I don't know. Just Puma.
So let's plan this. We focus on Puma related issues first, get them resolved, and Sidekick probably can push it down a little bit until we are able to reach to the Sidekick. So let's focus on our Puma activities in 12.0 cycle. See how far we can get.
That is pretty much plan. But try to get as much as possible as Puma merged, so we could like for the 12.0 when it's released, enable Puma on the canaries that like everyone would use. I think that this is our goal pretty much right now.
Yeah, sounds ideal. Yeah, that's a good plan. So let's focus on Puma and then push the Sidekick a little bit lower. Okay, that's the issues in 12.0. We are trying to be ambitious here. We'll see how far we can go, and it's also a good experiment how what our throughput or productivity looks like with a fully staffed engineer team. Yeah, Mac, you have a new item here.
So yeah, it's not new. Just want to close out the loop that this team is equipped for measuring any performance improvements or degradation with their code changes. So I'm not tracking anything else. If there is, please let us know, and we'll fan it out to Tanya and Sanat to work on getting this implemented. But Prometheus is there, SideSpeed's there, CPU memory measurement is already there. It's in G_memory. The pre-prod channel is there if you need to coordinate any changes with JARP, and everybody's ready to self-service this team. So yeah, if there's not anything else, I think we are ready. But please do raise asks if we're missing anything.
I actually have a question about the test framework. So last time when Ramya was still attending the meeting, I think there was one thing that one metrics Grafana board cannot be set up, was not set up, and Ramya ran into a roadblocker there. She was working with other folks. I'm not sure what's the progress there.
I think it's already there from what I'm seeing in G memory. If not, let's ask there. 1 second, let me scroll up. Was this before contribution?
Yeah, it's before the contribute.
Yeah, I would assume it's done by now, because the last I talked with Ramya, she's essentially done with pre-prod. Now we're setting up the other on-prem test bed, the second test bed up for Stan. So cool. I think Camille posted a dashboard. So maybe Camille, you're in a better position to help us confirm.
So it seems like from my perspective that like we have everything. It's just our dashboard is not really like yet configured to show everything, because it's really like the test of the dashboard. I think that the next thing to happen, and I'm waiting to Puma sampler to be like finished. It's like pushing that to the pre-prod and like seeing and running load balancer using RTRay.io like myself, and seeing and configuring dashboard like with relevant data, and then kind of like reaching to you, the quality team, what else we may be missing. But so far, I think that we do have all the tools.
Awesome.
I'm at least from my perspective, I have all the possible types of the accesses that I may need to follow that story of measuring that. I mean, SSH access to the servers, editing access to the Grafana. There's probably the question to Jan, if Jan needs some of these accesses to measure that. But I think that we have to figure out that we have to go through this by ourselves.
Yeah. A related question to this I was wondering about is what will be our strategy to actually measure the performance in, for example, Unicorn versus Puma, because as Kamela replied to, let me paste the link here so everybody can hear. So this issue. So we now have two servers, right? Pre-production and pre-Puma. And I was wondering if we want to compare performance Unicorn versus Puma, how we would proceed if we would run some automated tests on pre-Puma server, then switch it to Unicorn and run these tests again, and then compare graphs. Or if we have two identical environments which we can compare at the same time. So I'm not exactly sure how I, as a developer, should proceed with measuring differences between two web servers.
So I think there should be two dashboards: one for the vanilla pre-prod and the other Puma.
So these these are exactly same deployments. I mean, same resources. So I mean, same CPU, memory, and so on.
So basically, these two servers have the shared database, NFS, and everything. I mean, Redis, but they are identical machines.
Okay, cool. So if these are identical except the Puma versus Unicorn, then it's awesome.
So, one thing that we may have to figure out to have the consistent metrics is to really a way to cycle the worker processes to force them restart. So you always start from the same point. This is one thing. Second thing is really I don't think that we can run these things concurrently because you share the storages, databases, and Redis. But at least I think that we can run that sequentially, and we should get pretty much this comparable results because of the same specs, using the same storage, using the same connectivity and everything.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. That's cool. And the second question was what tests are we going to use? I guess QA already has some automated set of tests which we could use for this benchmarking.
So I would recommend looking through the existing test plan we have for Rugged. I would assume we're going to replicate the same format. So have an issue, ongoing issue. What Sanat and Stan have been doing is when they run a test, they just put a table in an update with a screenshot of Grafana, then you can compare point A to point B. Really boring solution. We don't have any two dashboards and to save in time. Right, this is probably the best that we have. And
pasting Grafana test is fine. Yes. I meant rather the tests which
the test itself. Yes. So maybe we need to ping Lupin, Sanat, Tanya. Mark Lapierre can help out as well, but I think he's busy with Gitterly and +1. So we have CI jobs that hit the endpoint, and then depending on which endpoint you want to hit, you can hit commit history or whatever, and you can generate load that way. It's just a matter of making changes to a CI, the performance CI project, and have it run against this environment. You would just change the URL, and in that definition, right, just list whatever endpoint you have. Sanat's the best person. Maybe we should include him in this meeting because he's supposed to be 50% on memory.
He is included. He just declined this instance.
Yeah, because he's in Pakistan, and
No, I think actually right now it's because of Ramadan.
oh, it's Ramadan. Ah, okay.
Yeah, his schedule's a little bit weird.
Okay, so async people have an issue. Mention him. He doesn't have to be here, but we should have a new hire. Actually, 2 new hires in enablement. One for Geo coming in, and another one dedicated for performance. I think June 15th, right? Or before that time.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being June for both.
June?
Yes, June is, well, it's what we have one hire in May, but then the start date is just rolled over by a few days. So it's technically we're using our May headcount. And June is like 7 days away. So let's do whatever we can to hold the fort until those 2 arrive.
The memory person is starting on June 17th and Geo probably the 3rd, but possibly the 10th.
Right. And we may like just involve the earlier person here, so to get things going, then transition over. Yeah, I think that's all we have.
Yeah, I think that's what we have. Good meeting. Yeah, 2 minutes. More topics? We have still 2 minutes. Going once, going twice. So, okay, thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.